teach you again. You all of you listen to me one thing. When I am teaching you something, your brains should be here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I am a very short-tempered person. So this is development. When I told you in the initial years, what was happening? Initial years, the only thing that could measure the growth or development of a nation was characterized as GDP increase, GNP increase, per capita income increase, trade increase, etc. All those things that matter to run a business, or you can say to the country. But what was being left out was this thing, that we as humans have a potential. How come increase in GDP, GNP, etc. will make us developed country? No. Then new theories started, of whom the main pioneer was Amartya Sen. He is a Nobel laureate in economics, by the way. So this person says that if you really want to grow your nation, or if you really want development, then what you do is this thing, that help in the enhancement of this person, help in increase his potential. Now let's say how we will increase his potential. We will take your example here. Right now you are aspirants. How are we as an institute trying to increase your potential is by giving you classes, by giving you study notes, doubt sessions, tests, infra. All of you must be having accommodation somewhere also being done by the institute, etc. So we are enabling you, right? We are enabling you to get through to achieve your potential. Now, when you will achieve your potential, don't you think you can achieve anything? Now we will talk about this as a in population terms. When I say this in population terms, if I have to increase the potential of the population, number one, I have to give them better roads, so that they commute to their works hassle-free, hospitals, schools, colleges, you name any. Does this is also development?
Yes.
This is also development. But now it is more defined and it is more comprehensive. Give more choices to them. This is a theory also, choice and client theory, which says if there is a client, if you give him only one choice, he will not value it. He will simply run away from you. But if you really want to expand your base, then give him multiple choices. When you will give him multiple choices, he will pick and choose and experiment for himself, whether it is working for him or not. If this is not working, he will go for the new one, but your client will remain with you. This is client choice theory, which was also applied in public administration. Give more choices to them. Now, when you will give more choices to them, you are ultimately developing their potential, which will help in. Is this clear? Now, after this also, what happened? This was also not enough. Why? This was not enough. Now, why this is not enough? Because since the time of LPG, or let's say the rapid economic development that we have started, we have seen a considerable degradation of environment. Now, what does new theory says? The new theory says that if you will keep on consuming each and every resources right now, nothing will be left for the upcoming generations. Isn't it so? If you are trying to develop someone's potential, if this institute only develops you and not the upcoming batches, do you think there will be any development that will be going on? Development has to continue. It has to be a continuing process.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened? Then a new phenomena or a fancy term was given. Sustainable development. What is sustainable development? It is just one thing. You are meeting the requirements of the present generation. Do it no matter what. But also leave enough for the next generations to come. This is called as sustainable development. And right now, our development definition is stuck here. I personally believe that it is stuck here. This is not enough. We need a responsible, sustainable development. Why I say responsible, sustainable development is because of this reason. You will see only few industries or few institutions doing this, not all. Still, there is enough of greed to deplete the resources. You have heard this quote, there is enough for your need and nothing enough for your greed. So what we today we need is responsible, sustainable development. Write down the definition of development. Later on, it was realized that people should be empowered and their potential should be enhanced. Amartya Sen, full stop, Amartya Sen he said that, मतलब comma कुछ लिख लो, development consists of the removal of various types of unfreedoms that leave people leave people with little choices and little opportunities of exercising their reasoned agency. Reasoned agency. He said that development is bringing about social change that allows people to achieve their human potential. Now next heading is dimensions of development.
Then, like we government launches money saving policies for government, can it be considered sustainable development? When money saving policies, can it be considered sustainable?
Sustainable development is only considered about conserving the resources that will be left enough for the next generation. Yes. Right. Yes, it is more development. That is all already in the economic. That economics is prudent economic policy. You can see that. Now we're talking about dimensions of
Development.
and this also I told you that day also. Huh? Political, economic, social, human development is also, it is new for you, and then sustainable development. Social.
Environmental. Legal and
Oh, when I say legal and anyways, these are the only 5 dimensions. Political development. What is political development? Responsible government. No, you will write it yourself. I will not make you write. Now you have enough understanding of the subject. Economic development. Again, told you. GDP and all things. Social development. Removing poverty, unemployment, social evils, literacy, increasing literacy, female work, labor force participation. Clear? Human development. What is human development?
public infrastructure.
Human development. Education. You are somewhere correct, but it is not a. You should use another word. Vocational education. Anything else? Skills. Skill enhancement is human development. Sustainable, you know. Clear? This is your basic introduction of the topic. Now we will start with our all things. Now I told you that only the government is not responsible for bringing the desired social change in the society, but also the civil society is enough responsible. So we will study now civil society. Write down your heading, civil society. According to World Bank, civil society refers to a range of organizations, community groups, NGOs, labor unions, indigenous groups. From Monday, we will start with art and culture also. We are doing modern history now. From Monday, we will start with culture and along with that, ancient, medieval and culture. ताकि जब modern finish हो, ये सारे topics भी साथ में finish हो, ठीक है? NGOs, labor unions, indigenous groups, charitable organizations, professional associations, faith-based organizations, there are many. Faith-based organizations, foundations, etc. Okay, now when we talk about its genesis, then we go back to 1980s. So now you all must have all must be clear now by these two terms. This is nothing but civil society, non-state actors. Now, when this was already doing its work, do you think whatever it will do will be acceptable to all people and will be in the right direction always? Hence the need of. Now these civil societies, or all of that I made you like, they form a association amongst themselves and they fight this. They defy it. They come with their own programs. Then they protest, etc. These are called as non-state actors. The need is clear. Yes. The genesis is also clear. Why non-state actors? Clear? Rishabh, clear? Write down. The genesis of civil society. The genesis of civil society dates back to 1980s. Dates back to 1980s. And got its name as non-state actors. And got its name as non-state actors. Who defied the authority? Who defied authority? Who defied authority? Especially in Eastern Europe. Especially in Eastern Europe. It started in Eastern Europe, okay? Especially in Eastern Europe. Civil society is also known as the third sector of society. Civil society is also known as the third sector of the society. What are other two? Government and that will be in the government only. And no. Civil society is people only. Yes, commerce. Government, commerce, and civil society. Clear? Third sector of society. Bracket में लिख लो after government and commerce. After government and commerce, bracket close. Which has the power to influence the actions of policymakers. Which has the power to influence the actions of policymakers. You have heard of Amnesty International? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation?
Yes, ma'am.
Worldwide Fund for Nature? All these are examples of civil societies only, okay? So this was the basic definition. Now we have to do that civil society in India and its role. So the idea emerged from Gandhian theory of volunteerism. Volunteerism. You understand this now? Volunteerism? That you volunteer yourself to participate in something and bring in other people for a cause. You understand this now? How many of you have been volunteers? A lot of time your teachers say who will be the volunteer and then you raise your hand voluntarily. Clear? So this idea emerged in India from the Gandhian theory of volunteerism, where a person started. How many of you have been to Indian coffee house? Indian coffee house famous for South Indian food. No one of you. कितने साल हो गए चंडीगढ़ से रहने को? हैं? अच्छा साल ही हुए हैं. No one of you have been to Indian coffee house as of now. It's in almost all the sectors. 36 भी है, 22 भी है, 17 भी है, 17 वाला. Now Indian coffee house started as a restaurant run by one person. मतलब it was the effort of one person. He said, I will not work on a boss and a subordinate theory. What we will do, we are like-minded people. We are 5 people. Right? We will run this restaurant. We will also serve there. They are the waiters themselves. It is the best when you will open the examples of cooperative societies. Na, the Indian coffee house will be the very first. Wherever you will find any coffee house, the waiters themselves, they are the owners of the Indian coffee house. Otherwise, what is the relationship is waiter and a boss. Here, they themselves are the bosses and also the waiters. It is an example of cooperative society, which is an example of volunteerism. Clear that you voluntarily participate and help in your growth and development. Clear? This is an example of volunteerism. Right now in India, civil society got its name from Gandhian tradition of volunteerism. Gandhian tradition of volunteerism. For example, the volunteers organized handloom weavers in villages to form cooperatives through which they could market their product directly. From which they could market their product directly. Comma. Amul is also an example of a cooperative society. Okay. Comma Amul. Comma Indian coffee house. Clear? No, civil societies. Cooperative societies and civil societies is one and same term. It's almost synonyms to each other. Okay. That is also civil society. I told you now what is civil society? NGOs, trade unions, labor unions, self-help groups. Everything is civil society. Everything other than the government and commerce is civil society. That's it. Okay? Yes. Pressure groups. Labor unions, trade unions. ठीक है? These are an example of civil society. हाँ जी. I don't read the definition again. Definition एक बार दोबारा पढ़ लो जो मैंने लिखी है वर्ल्ड बैंक वाली. Clear? Since the government in India, is majorly taking all the decisions by itself, the need of civil society aroused. AROUSED. Civil society acts as Acha, yesterday you were talking about Bro code, na? Bro code is not this the language that you use. Bro code is strength and unity. है? बियर की? मैं समझी नहीं दोबारा दसो.
मैं बियर का नाम है.
अच्छा बियर का नाम है Bro code. No, I asked one of my friends, so he said Bro code is unity amongst the brothers. That no matter what.
Yes.
You will not tell my girlfriend that I was with her that day. This is Bro code. Huh? Or vice versa. Happens amongst girls also. Interface, as an interface between the citizens and government. Government. Its functional contribution in good governance. Is number 1. Watchdog. Against violation of human rights. Watchdog against violations of human rights. Advocate of whom? Of weaker sections of society. Advocate of weaker sections of society. Agitators on behalf of aggrieved citizens. For example, the recent farmer protest, agitation. Okay, agitators on behalf of aggrieved citizens. Educator, by increasing awareness, etc. Educator, by increasing awareness amongst citizens. Of their rights, responsibilities, etc. Service provider. in the areas and to the people not reached by officials. In the areas and to the people not reached by officials. Clear? Last is mobilizer. Mobilizer. Of public opinion. Of public opinion. For or against a government policy. Clear? Definition, dimensions, functions are clear. So now first of all, now we will begin with one. We will do one by one. I guess there are 2 or 3 years syllabus. First is NGO, right? NGOs. This is under the civil society. Okay. I told you there are many trade unions, labor union, NGOs, etc. groups. So first we will do is NGOs in detail. What is the full form of NGO? Very good. Okay, so when you will be doing this, so you have to keep this in mind that there is no considerable difference between all these, but there is a difference of objectives amongst all. These trade unions, they want trade concessions. Yes. Labor unions, they want effective working conditions for themselves. NGOs, they are being non-government organizations providing services and facilities to people on their behalf. Clear? So there is a difference of only functions and objectives. Otherwise, they do not have any kind of differences. Write down. Civil society when organized in structure and specialized in function, takes the form of NGOs. Clear? Now write down features of NGOs, characteristics of NGOs. It is an organization of private people. It is an organization of private people or individuals who believe in certain basic social principles. Can you call him for water? Pani. Basic social principles. Next point. They structure their activities. To bring development. They structure their activities to bring development to communities. Next feature, it is not affiliated to any political party. It has no affiliation with any political party. It is an independent, democratic, non-sectarian, people's organization. Thank you. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कितने हो गए? 4 हो गए. Now write down role. This is explanatory to you. ठीक है? What is your name? Anjali. Common. कल भी मोरे बैठेगा. हाँ है ये. जमीन बोर्ड भी बोल बैठा. Role in development. Role in development. So you have to understand that NGOs work in those sectors where the government is not willing to work. So very first role is it is willing to work in activities where the state does not participate. For example, caste is a huge issue in India. Caste is a huge issue in India. हाँ लिखना है, लिखो. That no government wants to work upon. Fiddle with, etc. Okay, work upon लिख लो वैसे. The persistence of caste hierarchy. Achha, why the government is not willing to work in these sections? Caste, religion, etc. गवर्नमेंट चाहती है कंफ्लिक्ट पैदा करना. Vote bank politics. If it will not be there, then how will they gain votes? But I made you right. Continues due to vote bank politics. Clear? Number one is it works where the state is unwilling to work. Second, it works where the state's resources are inadequate. It works where state's resources are inadequate. Can you give me example in which sector this could be? More participation of NGOs than the government. Think of it. Education and healthcare. Education and healthcare. Clear? Because the government is not even donating a sufficient amount of GDP for these two sectors. You know now what is the contribution in education and in healthcare of the GDP? For healthcare, it is almost 1.9% of the GDP, and for education, it is 2.3 or 4%, which is very, very, very low for a country like India, which has huge aspirations and want to become the 5th largest economy of the world. USA gives 12% of its GDP for education. 12%. And we try to compete with that nation. When we talk about westernization, etc. It works where the state's resources are inadequate, especially in education and healthcare sector. Especially in education and healthcare sector. You have heard of Kendriya Vidyalayas?
Yes.
They are run by NGOs. I am not sure. Okay. There are many schools which are run by NGOs.
Just
Many hospitals are there, charitable hospitals. And there is one here only, Indira Holiday Home, charitable hospital. You got the example now? Okay. Write down for example, charitable schools, hospitals, dispensaries. Clear?
Yes.
Next, third point, Lipo. Fighting the social evils. Fighting social evils. You know what is the best example here? You have heard of it as female infanticide. So, you know, in order to raise its voice against female feticides, the NGOs came forward and they advocated that sex determination tests should be completely banned from the dispensaries and it should be strictly regulated and monitored. This is the contribution of NGOs in removing social evils. This is the best example.
Yes.
Okay. Write down. It is because of the efforts of NGO. It is because of the efforts of NGOs that the government has banned sex determination tests. That the government has banned sex determination tests. Next point. Advocates right to shelter. Advocates right to shelter. Write down NGOs such as NGOs. ये example बता दो, ठीक है? NGOs such as युवा have come forward and openly opposed the demolishment of slums in Mumbai. Okay, another example is very important. Advocates right to shelter. Next, right to information. RTI is completely initiative started by NGOs.
जिसमें कई एरियाज में वैक्सीनेशंस की भी नॉलेज NGOs वगैरह ने किया।
हाँ ये हमें अभी रोल दिख रहे हैं ना, तो रोल आप देखो ना किसके सेक्टर में आ गया, जहाँ पर स्टेट काम नहीं कर रही, जहाँ पर स्टेट के रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, ठीक है, उसके बाद शेल्टर में आ गए हम, इंफॉर्मेशन में आ गए, फिर और भी बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं. दिस इज वी राइटिंग एज द रोल. इट्स आल्सो अबाउट द कंट्रीब्यूशन. You have to write the concrete examples here. If you know their name, you can write it. That will be another role. Okay, but I am not aware of it, so we'll have to find.
From providing food facilities,
Providing. हाँ obviously बिल्कुल. ये PGI के बाहर है तो है. Right to information has become possible in India by the efforts of NGOs only. Next is tribal rights. NGOs have raised their voice against discrimination of tribals by the MNCs. Many of them have partnered with gram panchayats for the proper implementation of Forest Rights Act. You understood this point? समझ में आया? What I have tried to say you or need to write is this thing only, that tribal people are they live in isolation. I told you one day also that their sole purpose of life is fulfilled in a community, right? They do not socialize much as we. They don't socialize. They don't go to schools and get education. They don't want it. They don't want employment, etc. They simply start their day, do hunting and gathering, do agriculture, etc. So now what happened after the development process started, land encroachment started. forest clearances, etc. So what made them? They made them homeless. Not only homeless, but you can say their culture was disrupted. They had the joint ownership tradition. ये मैंने समझाया था ना एक दिन पहले. Joint ownership tradition they have. ये हम सोसाइटी में करेंगे, यहाँ पे शुरू होंगे, लंबा चौड़ा लेक्चर देने बोलेगा. Clear?
Yes.
Now when you will, the MNCs come here, they encroach upon their land, they become not only landless, but completely their culture got stuck there. Then it is important that they should be rehabilitated. And here the NGOs have worked a lot. What they do is, there is an act called as Forest Rights Act. You will do this in polity. Forest Rights Act. So this Forest Rights Act confer the ownership of resources of that forest to the tribals and not to the MNCs. You getting me?
Yes, sir.
If there is a patch of land, whatever resources will be known there, they will be owned. Who will be the owner? The tribals themselves. नहीं समझा रहे? I said that Forest Right Act, according to this act, whatever resources are grown in a forest, let's say in this particular area, their ownership will be conferred, it will be made legal that it belongs to whom? The tribals. Rest the government can use. In order to further this act or promote this act or make it more implementable, the NGOs partnered with Gram Panchayats. Now you got me? This is the line that I get you right also.
But the way giving shelters and food to stray animals, we can also consider.
Write down advocates animal rights. उसमें एग्जांपल्स लिख लो, बहुत सारे. यहाँ पर एक और है, एनिमल्स लवर एसोसिएशन है चंडीगढ़ में. हाँ, पीटा भी है. एडवोकेट्स एनिमल राइट्स. नेक्स्ट कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट. At community level, NGOs provide assistance. NGOs provide assistance दिन की है फ्राइडे थर्सडे, ठीक है. In the accusation of basic needs and basic needs, etc. बहुत है. कितने हो गए? 5 हो गए. बस बहुत है. Rest you can write on your own, whatever comes to your mind. Be it vaccination, vaccination will come under this only, that you advocate awareness or that you generate awareness. Okay. Okay, तो रह गया बहुत important, protecting environment. In protection of environment, NGOs play a crucial role in plugging the gaps. NGOs play a crucial role in plugging the gaps by conducting research to facilitate policy development. Protection of environment. They carry massive awareness campaigns. They carry massive awareness campaigns, tree plantation drives. ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਜੋ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਦੇ ਨੋਟਸ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਡਿਕਟੇਟ ਕਰਿਆ ਹੈ मेरे को सिर्फ ब्लूप्रिंट होता है देख मैसिव अवेयरनेस कैंपेन मैसिव कहता मैं मास लिखो मास अवेयरनेस कैंपेन व्हाट इज मैसिव अवेयरनेस कैंपेन मास अवेयरनेस कैंपेन ओके ट्री प्लांटेशन ड्राइव्स और की करते हैं conserving the nature नर्मदा फॉर एग्जांपल लिख लो कंजर्विंग द नेचर के बाद एग्जांपल्स लिख लो नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन यार जबकि पौन वाले में चिपको मूवमेंट नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन चिपको मूवमेंट है तो नर्मदा बचाओ से आ गया ना एग्जांपल दसो एग्जांपल पूछ रही है मैं काम नहीं पूछ रही है नाम दसो ना ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के बर्ड लाइफ इंटरनेशनल है वर्ल्ड वाइड फंड फॉर नेचर ग्रीन पीस बॉम्बे नेचुरल हेरिटेज सोसाइटी Then write challenges faced by NGOs in India. शेती लिखो 151 हो गया Number 1 is lack of funds. They do not have funds. मतलब obviously they have, but it will always be lesser than the state. Right? Lack of funds. Do I need to मतलब इसके बीच में लिखवाने की जरूरत है नो ना lack of funds. Next लिखो inadequate manpower और inadequate लिखो trained personnel नहीं है इनके पास इतना inadequate trained personnel.
Lack of volunteers.
हेलो लैक ऑफ ट्रेन्ड वॉलंटियर्स नहीं समझे आप देखो ना गवर्नमेंट के पास क्या है गवर्नमेंट के पास स्पेशलाइज्ड पीपल है which have come through merit they know their work is taught to them they give the training is given to them but at the same time NGOs do not have even infrastructure to train the people. How many of you join NGOs on your instinct only? Isn't it so? You are trained? No, you are not trained. You just go to get another certificate to add into your CV. क्यों हरीशन आँखें खोल के बैठा है खुल नहीं रही है बंद हो रही है तुम बंद ही कर लो
Lack of volunteers
कि lack of volunteers की बोलिए ना that is
जो volunteers की participation नहीं है volunteers यूज कर सकते हैं
अच्छा lack of participation of volunteers बोल lack of volunteer बोलिए lack of participation लिख लो next point lack of participation in doing social work among the youth समझ गए अनुराग lack of doing participation social work among the youth अच्छा they do not you have to understand this thing you know how funds come to them अभी किया ही नहीं आपने ये इकोनॉमिक्स में करते हैं ये how foreign contribution Act, Foreign Resources FCRA. Okay, so this is an NGO. It can raise its money from multiple stakeholders of the society. One stakeholder for them can be foreign countries also. Now, this has been misused by the NGOs to a greater extent. Because what do they do? These countries try to come into India, set their base through them. Okay, so they do misuse of their funds also. The next point is misuse of funds. Misuse of funds by misappropriation of money, benami transactions, misappropriation of money, benami transactions, money laundering, etc. Then write next point, fifth point, inequality in rural areas. Inequality in rural areas. All of us know that any NGO that will be in Chandigarh will be more developed than any NGO in some village surrounding Chandigarh. Clear? So this is inequality in rural areas, that urban area जो भी NGOs operate करते हैं urban areas में, they are more developed and more functional than those operating in the rural areas. Clear? This is the issues faced by the NGOs in India. Now write suggestions to improve working of NGOs. Suggestions to improve देखिए फिर किसने 10 पाई देख ली, अच्छी लगी? पीकी ब्लाइंडर्स किसने देखा हुआ है? हुण देखने हाथ खड़े हुए हैं The Garrison. Garrison भी अंदर ना नाम से बैठे पीते हैं The Garrison. Central Park Friends चुना ऐ तो मेरे भी रटे पे He requires suggestions. Number 1 लिखो the rules and regulations of granting aid. The rules and regulation of grant in aid should be liberalized by the government. Yeah, Jyoti क्यों नहीं आई? You don't know? She's your friend.
Vaccination.
कब हुई? क्यों लिखवाया मैं? The rules and regulation of grant in aid. Grant in aid, you don't understand? पैसे देने NGOs नो grants देनिया. The rules and regulation of grant in aid should be relaxed.
Should be liberalized.
Should be liberalized. Relaxed is the word. It's a synonym only. Should be liberalized. Okay. Next point.
More participation of volunteers.
और तो चुप कर. Participation of volunteers ना तो जमा ही हो करता है. हाँ. दसो तो सिर्फ दसो कुछ suggestion. More participation of volunteers. Wow.
Allocation of resources to NGOs in rural areas.
Let us frame it a little bit. You are right, Ritika. थोड़ा सा correct करनी पड़ेगी wording. हाँ वो भी ठीक है। Keep a strict check on the NGOs. Keep a strict check on the NGOs receiving foreign aid. Work on the language instead of कल 1 तारीख को यानी ना कल 1 अक्टूबर है। की लिखा है
Keep a strict check on NGOs receiving foreign aid.
हाँ रिसीविंग फॉरेन एड होगा। नेक्स्ट लिखो institutionalize NGOs by appointing commissions or committees, etc. Commissions or committees, etc. Young graduates should be encouraged to participate more. Young graduates should be encouraged to participate more in creating awareness by effectively using social media. By effectively using social media. How many of you made Twitter accounts? पहले सीगा I told them that you use social media so you will productively. So Twitter is one productive account where you can access a lot of news that is recently happening or see what is trending. So it is a very good app. Don't mess it up, okay? फड़ भी लेंदे हैं Twitter वाले हैं वो राम नहीं ये पोस्ट शाम बैठे लाइक कर दी होगी because it gets traceable. When you will clear this exam, police verification will be done. They will check all your public accounts. What is your history?
ये मेरा plan करता है मैं वो कमेंट
करता हूँ ना तो कुछ की करता तो
पूरी सा फुल स्क्रीन और ट्वीट करना वो कितना सी वो नेक्स्ट डेट को क्या होता है उस टाइम में प्लान करता हूँ
तुम पहला पेपर दे ले ठीक है ना एक्टिविस्ट से बात से पढ़नी अच्छा एक बार पता क्या हुआ we had a friend so he fought for the elections of university presidentship okay and he cleared the exam also but he had a very bad report दो तीन तोते पर्चे हुए हुए सीगे ठीक है and when the police verification etc got मतलब over so his name was dropped he was not given the job you should have a clean record ठीक है अनुराग एक्टिविस्ट नहीं बनना पहला सिविल सर्वेंट बात हाँ आज डिलीट कर देंगे कल फिर डाउनलोड कर लेंगे वीकेंड की स्पेंड करना है फेक अकाउंट फिर अकाउंट तो है ही है हाँ ना ले ले एक और गल याद आ गई बहुत फनी है बच्चे नहीं ये तो बच्चे लिखी दिखाया मैं हाँ पार्टिसिपेट लेंगे कितने हुए 3 नहीं हुए थे मेरे सजेशन से हो गया 4 हो गए मैडम तो दसो एक और प्रॉब्लम्स ਨੂੰ देख के सॉल्यूशन दसो कुछ मेरे मुंह वाले देख रहे हो 10वीं 10 पल्लवी इसका कैसे लिख सकते हो since urban or areas are already developed, they are getting enough of resources. So what should be done? The NGOs which are working in rural areas, they should not only provide them the service but also teach them or also bring in the necessary grants to develop it. You getting me now? Because urban areas have already the infrastructure, they have the roads, sanitation, water supplies, etc. If let's say NGOs want to work in some rural area, then it has to ensure that these things are also there, so that they are empowered enough to act on their own.
Effective and efficient resource
Management, हाँ ऐसे लिख सकती हो. Efficient management of resources in rural areas. In rural areas, plus also the NGOs need to operate in rural areas on a bigger scale. And next point, NGOs being a welfare organization. NGOs being a welfare organization should maintain high standards of quality in service. High standards of quality in service. The government should also recognize the NGOs which are doing commendable work, okay? The government should also recognize the NGOs by giving them rewards with additional grants. By giving them rewards with additional grants. Next class लिख लो. The NGOs should use latest technologies like internet websites etc. For raising their funds. Comma, advertising products, comma, to have mutual associations. To have mutual associations.